New Kill Team Tomb World review.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and in this video, we're going to unbox, review, and talk about the value of the new Kill Team Tomb World box set, which is pretty massive. I got to be honest with you, it's just as big as the Saturnine box, and well, it's got a lot of stuff inside, and I'm really excited for this one. So over on the site, we already did a deep dive breakdown on the value and contents inside of here. But it does look like, and we don't know for sure yet because, you know, remember this is the first release, then there's second release, and probably a third release of this. I'm talking like a Hobbit, of course, for this contents in here. And if I had to guess, I would say that third release is probably going to be the Necron terrain as a huge like double sprue kind of boarding action box set like they did with the last one. The Into the Darkness or what have you. So that I think we'll see farther on down. But for right now, we've got this box. Then we'll get to kill teams, the Deathwatch kill team. And chances are there's two in here just looking at the way they made it. The sprues are 3 sprues identically, which I'm about to show you. Then you got the Canoptic Circle. And then of course just the Necron Warriors and Scarabs, which is the normal box that we saw in... What box set are we on now? Let's see, so we're on Leviathan, so that was Indominus. Okay, Indominus, yeah, we gotta think about it real quick. There's so much going on over the last 5 years or so. So that's just the normal Necron Warrior sprues out of there that eventually came out as the push fit Necron Warriors, which I love me some push fit. I love quick and easy assembly, and they're pretty well, you know, detailed and such now, so I ain't mad at it. So that's the value that's inside here, and actually I think if I had to guess, that if we come over here and we talk about the dossier book, cards, and tokens, now the cards, remember, are a separate purchase. Like to get the data cards outside of the Kill Team box, they usually cost, you know, like 30 bucks. So if you think about it, there's actually potentially an extra $60 of value in here just because of that. And we're of course taking a guess on the Necron walls, the Tomb World walls. I think it'll be about 110. I think it's about half of a boarding action terrain box, but we'll see when it actually all drops. We could be way off here. We could be right on the money. Who knows? But that's what's half the fun of you know, speculating all these values. So new release this week, $250, 300 Canadian, 155 pounds, or 200 euros. So it actually took a lot to get this all in the camera here because it is such a ginormous box. But, you know, taking a look at it, you can see all the contents inside, which, you know, we've talked about already kind of to ad nauseum there. Sorry about the light glow. It's hard to get everything kind of balanced here, but you can see all the terrain, some of the example miniatures you can make for each squad here, and then the tokens and things like that. But once you get it open, you know, it's a massive box. You get, like I said, all of the sprues. So the Kill Team sprues, actually these ones came perfectly separated. So it's actually 3 sprues for the Kill Team, and I'm sure the third sprue is in here. Yep, here it is. So it's actually 3 sprues, 3 identical sprues, which kind of leads me to believe that this is a sort of identical 2 boxes in here. And then the Canoptic Circle is actually a squad and the Canoptic himself. So I imagine at some point they're going to release the Canoptic guy by himself, which, you know, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. So look for that. And then you've got the Necron Warriors and 3 Scarabs right there. And then the rest of it is all of the crazy Tomb World terrain, which is really neat stuff. And then you've got the cardboard terrain itself, the cardboard terrain boards. All of the bases and everything are going to be in the sides right here. And then in the middle is going to be the little fold-out box with all your rules and your data cards for them. Now, this is going to come with that. So you got your Kill Team dossier book right here, which are not really going to cover all your tokens and things. And then instructions, and then these, you know, so your kill zone is basically this, so that'll probably come with the terrain, and then these 2 packs now are coming separate from Games Workshop, which is just hilarious how they used to come in the boxes themselves, but now that's an extra, you know, $25 or $30 purchase, whichever it is, I forget. So let's jump in and talk about the minis here. Okay, let's run down the instructions real quick, because just like Blood Bowl, just like Necromunda, all of these Marine squads you can assemble a certain ways. And then of course they have other really cool war gear and things right here too, which I think was pretty neat. Now here's a picture of your sprues, picture of your base sizes, which is really cool because, you know, that's been a thing in the past where people couldn't quite figure it out. A slew of bear heads and helmets, and then you got your incursor pads, you got your the larger pads or squad pads, and then the regular Primaris pads here. And they show you at the top of each one here in each section how they make it. And it really isn't that undifferent. Like the greaves go on separately, and then you put the back on. The torsos aren't separate per se, like they're attached at the groin for pretty much all of these. And this one was kind of curious, you know, because they want you to put all these extra bits and fiddly things on there, and I'm not personally not down with it, but maybe you are. You could easily, you know, magnetize these with a 1/8" magnet if you really wanted to swap all the parts out and future-proof your stuff. But you can just kind of go through and see the different poses you can make. You can get Thunder Hammer or Storm Shield or Thunder double-handed Great Hammer, I forget what they call it, or a Storm Shield guy. And then over here you got your normal Primaris duders. You get the Plasma guy or your regular bolter. And then up here you've got a couple different options, which is cool. They got the tactical shoddy. Then you've got the old oh gosh, I forgot. I gotta look all these things up. It's been so long. What all these weapons are for Deathwatch. Even though I have Deathwatch, I have them right here. I used to know what they were called, and everybody would take them. But you know, it's just one of those things. Like there's so much things to keep track of. It's like I gotta like forget, you know, birthdays or something to remember all this stuff, and I don't want to forget people's birthdays. But anyway, so you got the different variants right there. And then you've got the two right here, which is the Incursor or the Reaver guys. Gosh, all these names are blurring together. Maybe I haven't fully woken up yet. I just don't even know it at this point. But to build all those out, you just kind of pick one of those and run with it. And then for the Necrons, they have a few options, but it's not too crazy as far as that goes. You know, it's nothing like, hey, this guy makes this pose, this guy makes this pose. No, all you can do is really kind of pick a weapon system to kind of put on there. These look like they just kind of slot down in there. You don't have to glue them on. These not so much, but maybe we'll kind of see how that goes. And then there's the 8 Canoptic Circle Marines. Now I wanted to talk about these, the Necron Tomb World wall things. These look really cool because I think if you really wanted to, and I didn't have the time to break it all down, but if you really wanted to make the layouts for 10th edition for, I guess the current one's chapter approved, it almost looks like they are the correct size perhaps to do that. And what I like about it too is you can kind of pop in the little doorways if you want, or like the breaching points where they cut through the walls and such to do it. But you know, and then they've got like some scatter terrain here too. So they show you kind of how to make the little sections, and you can put these little end caps, we'll call them, on there, so to speak. But they're very cool. I like how they did this. Like you can have a sarcophagus or just a dude poking out right there. But you know, this might be a really cool thing to have a Necron themed board in plastic to match the layouts. Now I'm not sure if it could be interchangeable. Maybe you could do something like that and make it interchangeable. I'm not quite sure yet. And I don't have the time to go through and actually put all this together. But I really like what they did here as far as like the different breaching points and these things that, you know, you can pop in the energy walls and the doors, and you don't have to glue them down, which I think is really cool, because you definitely want to modularize and future-proof this as much, but you do have to do a little bit of assembly there. And you got the scatter terrain. I'm not going to talk about the Necron Warriors because who cares at this point? They've been out for, I guess, 5 years now. First up is the Primaris Sprues here, and you can see, I think it's right here, the Gravis. That was the word I was looking for earlier. No, those are the Gravis. The Gravis armor, legs right there, and then all the different shoulder pads and things. Like I said, there is enough shoulder pads for all the Deathwatch guys, and there is enough blank heads if you don't like doing the bear heads to put on here as well. This is actually the same sprue. I grabbed the same sprue. I'm a big dummy. And then here you got your incinerator. That's the plasma guys that I forgot the name of because, well, I don't know. There's so much to keep track of. Xenos blade on the one sergeant there. And I actually forgot what I want to say it was incinerator. What is that Deathwatch thing? I guess I'm a bad Deathwatch collector because I totally forgot. That's the frag cannon. Holy cow, that thing. Everybody had those frag cannons back in the day. And then this is, what was this? The Infernus something or another. Infernus heavy bolter. So it's a combi heavy bolter with an Infernus weapon on it. And I guess, well, for Primaris and Gravis armor, they're no different now. So very, very neat stuff there. They got all sorts of things. And then there's the shoddy. So like I said, and the new larger scale storm shield, and of course they got a power maul. There it is right there. So you get one of each on here. Like I said, I imagine this is going to be some sort of new eventual Deathwatch box for the Marines, but we don't. Currently, all we have is the Firstborn one. And then here's the Necron sprue from Indominus. We're not really going to talk about that one. Then we've got all the new Canoptic Circle. So this is just the Canoptic Circle, which is like the 7 models, 2 of the crawlers, and then the little other spooky guys, which I forgot their names of right there. And then you've got the separate, what is this guy right here? Macrosite Warriors. And then you've got the separate Canoptic guy, which is the guy with the single eye, the Geo. Oh, I guess he's actually a Geomancer, but he's categorized as a Canoptic. Here is the Geomancer all assembled, and he's probably one of the coolest, I don't know, seen a Nightbringer now. I mean, he might be the coolest Necron warrior or Necron posed miniature out there, but this guy's pretty cool. I definitely dig him. He's super spooky. You got that scary one eye and the crazy Necron glyph right there. I don't know what that's about, but he's holding it. It's got to be something. And then one of the 2 crawlers that come in this kit. Oops, I messed up the glue right there. So. Whatever, that's supposed to be flat, no big deal. Very cool. Like I made a Scorpion conversion out of the Tomb Spider back in the day, and I think this is definitely along that same vein, and these would be cool to have next to that if I still have those conversions there, unfortunately, but I don't. And then here's there's 4 of these crawlers in the box set, and they're standing on various terrain and things, and they're pretty neat. They're very, very well detailed and super spooky looking. Remind me of the old flying bugs from Forge World that I'm sure eventually are going to go to Legends. And then you've got this guy here, which I guess is the Macrosite Reanimator, and there's the Warriors, the one with the gun on it. But again, another cool one, and unless you look really close, you can't really tell that they're different. It's just like, hey, I got the thing on the top here. Hey, I don't have the thing on the top. Oh, you suck, dude. Yeah, I know. Oh well. And then go into the Deathwatch. Here is the Mark 10 Gravis armored with frag cannon. Very, very cool looking. Definitely reminds me of what does the Jumpy Boys, the Inceptors, or the Aggressors as well. But seeing that one just walking along with this big heavy frag cannon, that's pretty neat. And then you just got like I guess a basic Primaris here in the, what is it, Mark 10 tactical armor, they call it now, with a Storm Shield and Power Mace. Very cool looking pose, like he's deflecting a Necron coming in. And then you've got the Sergeant over here with his bolt pistol and Xenos blade. And one thing I wanted to point out was if you had the older miniatures, a lot of times these little sensor things would break off if you just bumped them, and these ones are very sturdy, so I'm very happy about that one. And then we got the Reaver looking dude here that you could also make as an incursor, and last but not least the plasma incinerator version here that I think is very cooler looking. Just assembled these poses based on rule of cool, not necessarily function in the game. And then if you wanted to compare them to some of the other miniatures, here's one of my old Deathwatch Marines with frag cannon, and new Deathwatch Marine with frag cannon. A little bit of a glow up right there. And this guy here, Storm Shield, definitely upscaled, looking fresh in the larger Primaris scale right there. I'm actually just surprised this hasn't popped off yet. And then Storm Bolter over there as well. So that guy's looking fresh. Now I like how they kept the same kind of tactical torso there with grenades. Not just had different rounds and grenades on the right, but I like how they kept that that sort of style right there. And then here's how they compare to other Primaris out there. This is the guy we painted with speed paint back in the day. Same size base, but a little bit more dynamic and kind of having some fun right there. So I'm definitely digging these, you know. And then this is how the Gravis compares to the normal Primaris. So definitely a bit of a glow up for sure. These miniatures, I really like the design of the new Deathwatch guys here, because it was a long time coming for them to kind of be in the Primaris scale. And I hope they put out kind of a larger, and maybe this is the only one, because you can take them as like, maybe this will be the new thing. It's like a kill team sort of kit where you can have one of each and just kind of go with it. And I hope that's the case, and I hope it isn't something where you need 4 of the plasmas, which it wouldn't be hard to get plasmas. But if you need something like this with the Storm Shield and Power Ball, that's going to be a bit of an issue, because you only get one, and you only get one of the Frag Cannon or the Infernus Heavy Bolter, or the other Heavy Bolter, just the basic Heavy Bolter that also comes in there. So, and then they're all kind of the same pose too, right? So like, you probably want a little bit of variety if you had a kill team, instead of this dude walking around in basically the same pose. I don't know, that's just my 2 cents right there. So I guess overall, I'd have to say that this box is a good value, even in GW money, just because of all the stuff you get in here. It actually comes with what I think is going to be 2 of the Deathwatch kill team squads. And then also just the extra value from the cards themselves, which they charge separately for right now, which may or may not be the case when they come out, but this is what we know right now. Unfortunately, this box actually will go up on October 6th for the next price increase, but hopefully everybody was able to get theirs before then. But I think a lot of folks bought these, because they're already going for $350 on eBay right now. So hopefully everybody that wanted them didn't have to pay a premium, because they're already going for an extra $100 in premium right there. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching our unbox and build of the new Kill Team Tomb World set. Let us know what you think about this. Is this a good value for you, or are you going to pass and wait for the individual squads to come out?
Thanks for watching. Supporting us is super easy. Just click on the article links provided, subscribe, or follow us right here. And remember, next time you're searching for the best Warhammer news, type Spiky Bits into Google to get the most accurate info. See you in the next one.